Alright guys, so this video is going to be about the Logitech C615 webcam. So I bought this to use it on my new Creality Ender 3 3D printer, just so I could have a live stream via Octoprint on a Raspberry Pi. But the mount that comes with this is, standard setup to hook over the top of a monitor or a laptop or whatever. But normally this thing will just kind of pinch on there on the top of your screen, and then you've got where you can actually swivel the camera, and you can tilt this and however you need it to get the best picture. But I wanted to just have basically a solid mount on or near my 3D printer that had just a little bit of adjustability. This thing is not real straightforward how to get it apart. So there are a few parts that have been designed that you can 3D print for this, and I will link those down below. But I've also kind of remixed those to make my own, and we'll get to that later. But to do it, you need to get this apart. So one of the parts says, Google it and figure it out. So I found this forum post on using this camera to do like an infrared imaging sensor, whatever. And they were going to discard all of the housing, basically only use the circuit board inside of this. So they suggested just, getting a flathead screwdriver and getting in there and prying this part apart. And so that's what I did. And what you end up with is this little kind of D-shaped metal piece that acts as your swivel, and it's a really stiff fit. But I noticed there's a little screw from the back side here. And then when looking in here, that little screw actually holds it into this case. And so if you were to completely disassemble this, you could undo that screw and it would probably slide out super easy. But the mount that I'm designing, I want to leave this little swivel piece in here. But I didn't know how to get this out. So a little more looking, I discovered another item on Thingiverse that had where you retain that swivel. And so then I got to looking and trying to figure out how that worked. And so if you want to use my mount, this is how to do it without kind of destroying your camera. So you want to turn the camera so it's perpendicular to the base, and then using a razor knife or something, there's these kind of matte black plastic pieces here, and they're just double stick taped down, and they only go halfway, just right under the camera there. I've already pried mine out, and mine are kind of deformed already, but you can just kind of get under there and pull these up, and it just comes out, and it's like that with a little half moon cutout. And do the same thing on the other side. Rotate this around. Peel that up. And then you can see under here, you've got a little Phillips screw here, and then one on the other side. And these are I'm using a double zero Phillips screwdriver, because these are very tiny, and you want to use a lot of downward pressure when you're taking these screws out. And they're a little tiny screw. So when you get both of those screws out, this bottom piece should come off. There might be some clips, some little plastic clips that hold it in, but this bottom curved piece should come off. And then from the bottom side, you can see this little silver screw. There's two black screws that kind of hold the hinge on. The middle silver screw is another little tiny double-aught screw, and you can pull that out. You can see it there on my desk. And then the entire swivel base will come out. And so you can get this out, and then the part that I'm printing, I'm actually revising this a little bit, but this is a little kind of a D-shaped shaft. We can slide it into the 3D printed part and use this little screw. Again, I've destroyed my case. My swivel doesn't stay in my camera well anymore, but can use this screw through the access hole in the bottom of this. But that'll lock that into this piece. And now if your camera isn't destroyed and the swivel is still attached firmly to your camera, you will now have this little base that can be used to position some side to side, and then the actual printed piece can be rotated this way in your mount. So I am changing this design a little bit, making this area right in here a little taller and a little wider, so I can attach an LED strip on there. But that's how you disassemble the Logitech C615 so that you can get the swivel post out of this arm without damaging too much stuff. So I'll post links down in the description. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below. Till next time, see you later.